We got big hair today. Hello friends, I am excited. I'm going to be doing another Amazon favorites video. I feel like that is something that I'm very good at, telling you the things that I like on Amazon. Today it's going to be my favorite baking essentials. Now I'm going to do another one very soon that's going to be just kitchen essentials, items that I think every single person should have in their kitchen. There's a lot of stuff that I feel like makes cooking and just being an adult a lot easier. But today is specifically about baking. Now I am a huge fan, hobbyist. I really like baking. It's my comfort zone. It's something that I know that I am good at. I'm one of those people that I have a really hard time complimenting myself, I guess, and saying wow, you did a really good job at this, or being like, yeah, I'm really good at this, I'm really good at that. But baking, I know that I'm pretty freaking good at. I love experimenting with different recipes. I love kind of taking my own twist on things. We joke on Discord, Narl Nation, Narnash for short apparently. I did not come up with that name. Shout out to PJ, hi if you're watching. That I'm like the Mrs. Maisel, where anytime Paul's band plays a show, I bring cookies or I bring chocolate or I bring something for everyone to have. So I'm just like that. I'm like Susie Homemaker when it comes to baking. I just love it. I love that people get excited about it. I love that Paul's friends come over and are like, hey, so got any cookies in this joint? So I want to tell you some of the things that I use pretty much every single time that I am baking, that I think make life so much easier and that I think everybody can benefit from. The first thing is a KitchenAid mixer. I've talked about this a lot and I am well aware that they are a serious investment. These things are not cheap. The one I have that I'm going to show you it's $380. It's their designer line. I just really wanted the color. That's what it comes down to. KitchenAid mixers can range from the $200 range all the way up to $400. And they come in a billion different colors, which I personally think is really cool. Many kitchen items, in general come in black or maybe gray or silver, but KitchenAid mixers come in literally every color imaginable, and it's really, really cool. The one I have, the color is really cool. It's really shiny. It's this beautiful sea glass color. I'm obsessed. And it comes with a glass bowl, but you can find ones that have the metal bowls and that are not matte, but they're more like a satin, a sheen, like a vinyl finish, I guess, and they're less expensive, but again, still a million different colors. This is a workhouse. This is honestly something that's going to last you for years and years and years. My ride or die, I don't think I would bake nearly as much if I did not have my KitchenAid mixer. I watch videos from Tasty or different Instagram videos where they are baking, and I see the different things that they do, and they'll be whisking something by hand. Kind of like if you saw my pumpkin cream cold brew video and I'm whisking the cream by hand. That's something I haven't done in so long because I have my KitchenAid. So usually I'll throw it in my KitchenAid mixer and that's it. It makes whipped cream. I don't have to do any manual labor. But because I know a lot of people don't have it, that's why I showed it that way. Although a lot of you were freaking making me feel super dumb because you said to just throw it in a blender. And I don't know why I've never thought to make whipped cream in a blender. I did it last week and it took 2 freaking seconds. Way faster than even the KitchenAid. So my brain exploded with that one. So that would be what I would do with that. Anyways, it comes with a paddle mixer, which is great for cookies and cakes and any kind of batter. It has a dough hook if you want to make bread. It has a whisk if you're whipping egg whites, if you're whipping whipped cream, if you're making marshmallow fluff, whatever you're doing. It has so many different extension thingies that you can get. I have one that you attach to the top and it will peel vegetables. My mom has one that you can use to make ravioli. There's one that can be a food processor. There's another that can grind meat. It literally can just be a one-stop shop for your entire kitchen. If you're into baking at all, I I can't recommend enough saving your coins, getting yourself one of these KitchenAid mixers. It's just, even outside of the realm of baking, it just makes life so much easier. So much easier. So it's by far my number one, and you can get a cute one. You can get vinyl stickers, on Etsy, you can get stickers for it so that it looks really cute and very unique. I just went on a whole tyrant about KitchenAid, but I'm telling you, I could talk about that for hours. It is by far the best money spent ever. Also, another thing that is great to get if you do have a KitchenAid mixer or if you're planning to get one is the Flex Edge Beater. It is the paddle that you get with the KitchenAid, but it comes with this scraper on the side, and this makes it so easy to make any type of batter because it scrapes the edges, so you don't have to continually stop, scrape the edges with a regular spatula, and then restart it. This is my favorite. Like, I totally recommend getting this. Another thing that I've gotten that has been really great for me is a 2/3 baking sheet. This is like a really strange size because most of the time if you order a baking sheet, a baking pan, they are a half sheet size. That's the general size. A full sheet is for like industrial cookie, like baking shops, like big. And what always bothered me with the half sheet pans was that I felt like I had to do like a couple of different batches when I was making stuff, like cookies, for example, because you have to have everything kind of spaced out enough so that they don't like hit each other when they're in the oven. And so a half sheet, I felt like a batch of cookies, for example, wouldn't fit on 2 half sheet pans. So I found a 2/3 sheet pan. I found this on Amazon. I haven't found it anywhere in stores or anything like that, but it is pretty much the exact size of my oven. And my oven is like a general sized oven. If you have a small oven and you know it's small, don't buy this, but if you have like a normal sized oven, a 2/3 sheet pan will fit perfect. This is awesome because it is quite a lot, it's quite a lot bigger than a half sheet pan. That's the normal size you'll find at the store. And you can fit a lot more on it. And in addition to that, I've also found a 2/3 silicone mat. When you're baking, you always want something so that whatever you're making doesn't stick to the pan. And silicone mats are by far the best thing for that. It's just nice, it keeps the pan clean. They're just really handy to have. So I have 2/3 sheet pan size silicone mats and the 2/3 sheet pan. So they fit nicely. They're just giant. They're way bigger than any I've ever found. So if you're someone who likes to bake, you bake things like in bulk and then you freeze. This is awesome. Awesome. Another thing that I honestly love are these bakery emulsions from Loran. So I found these on Amazon. Actually, no, the first time I found them was at Home Goods. Home Goods in their food section, they had these Loran bakery emulsions, and they are all of these different flavored extracts. They have like a ton of different ones. They have, the usuals like lemon or strawberry or blueberry, but then they have this one called Princess Cake. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it has a little bit of a citrus element to it, and it's sweet, and it just adds this brightness. It adds like this really high-end sugar cookie taste. Most recipes call for vanilla as an extract to add flavor. The Loran bakery emulsions give you the option to really change up a recipe without having to do much extra work. They have all of these different ones. They have almond extract is amazing. You can get that anywhere, but these ones are just really cool and they're different, and it's really an easy way. Let's say you're making blueberry pancakes, you add a little bit of the blueberry emulsion, it's going to taste even more amazing. I love these. I think that they're something that I love having on hand. I think I have all of them or most of them, and it really can completely change up a recipe, brighten it. If you have a recipe that you love all the time, you can just experiment, maybe even cut it in half and do half with one flavor, half with another. And just, it's a way to really figure out what you like, try something new. And I love them. They get used in so many different things. You can even put them in coffee, like so many different things. They're just so good. This is actually, I had talked about this in my Amazon wish list video a while ago. And so this is a 3-tier cooling rack. This is really cool because it's almost like accordion style, so it can either be put away all flat, or you could use it just as one, or you can pull it up and then you get 3 different tiers for cooling racks. I don't know about you guys, but when I make stuff, I always make like a full batch of stuff is not going to fit on a standard size cooling rack. So having something like this where it's not taking up the entire freaking counter space, and the fact that it is layered like that means that you can put more stuff on there without, like I said, a normal cooling rack. If you're putting them out everywhere, it's going to take up the entire kitchen. So being able to stack them like that and have them put away really nice and small is really cool. So that was definitely something. It was like $15, and I feel like it was for sure. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm on, I just got an alert on my phone that ColourPop just announced a gray palette. Oh my god. Okay, that's exciting. Anyways, so another thing that I cannot live without, I put down one thing, but I'm realizing it's a bunch, are my cookie scoops. I have like 5 or 6 different cookie scoops. And if you talk to Paul, he would tell you that I'm literally insane with the amount of cookie scoops that I have. But just to hear me out. I don't even know what the sizes of them are, but I have like a giant one, and then a smaller, and then like a regular size cookie scoop, and then I recently got a baby cookie scoop. And the only one on my list I put down was baby cookie scoop, but then I'm realizing right now most people probably don't even have cookie scoops. A lot of people will use just like spoons, things like that to make cookies, but I use these for so many different things, like for cupcakes and for pancakes or anything like that. I'll use the bigger ones, scoop it out, scoop it in. So much use. And this small one that I wrote down was the most recent one I got. I believe it's like half of a tablespoon in the size, but I love it because I'm super guilty of when I make stuff is that I'm just a snacker, and I'm someone who will like pick apart pieces. So for example, like if I make brownies, I'll cut off the edges so that I can cut them like uniformly, and then I'm like, I'll just have a piece of the edge, just a little piece of the edge, and then all the edges are gone. So I'm like tricking my mind into thinking I'm eating a bunch of little stuff when in reality it's one big thing. So I really liked the idea of making cookies, chocolate chip cookies in particular, that were teeny tiny, so that I knew I'm eating one tiny freaking cookie, not 16 pieces of one gigantic cookie, because that's generally what would happen. I absolutely love this tiny little scoop. Makes it super easy so that I can make a whole batch of cookies and freeze half of them so that they're already portioned out. They're actually kind of dangerous at this size because you start eating like their potato chips just because they're little and they're like little chocolate chippers. But anyways, I really love having the cookie scoops. I feel like I use them for a lot of different things, and because they have that thing where you squeeze and then it kind of scrapes the inside of it, it's not like you have to go in with your fingers to get all of the batter out. It just makes life a lot easier. Another thing I would absolutely recommend, of course, is getting a set of measuring spoons and measuring cups. The one that I am going to link to is the one I have. They have different colors for the different sizes, which I think makes it a lot easier if you're looking for a specific size. You need a 2/3, you need a 3/4. Different ones are going to have a different color, and then they stack really nicely. Especially with the smaller ones too, with the tablespoons. It just makes it easier when they're different colors like that and when they can stack, and that way you don't have to be like, well, I can't tell, is this half a tablespoon, is this half a teaspoon? Like, I feel like that's an essential, obviously, but I'm putting it down anyways. Another thing that I think is really great, no matter if you're baking or if you just cook in the kitchen, or especially if you're trying to eat better, eat healthier, is to have a kitchen scale. Kitchen scale takes up basically no room at all, and measuring things with cups, tablespoons, stuff like that, it works for baking for sure, but if you want to be exact, having a kitchen scale is great. If you're trying to watch what you eat and you're trying to be healthier and kind of manage your food, like let's say you're using MyFitnessPal, something like that. If you measure out something, it can end up being drastically different from what the actual grams is. So for example, if I was to like do a bowl of cereal and I used 1 cup to measure it out, that can end up being a lot more than what it actually is in grams. So if you want like the most exact way and the most precise way to kind of count what you're eating and to count your calories, things like that, having a kitchen scale is absolutely 100% an essential thing. And it costs like $10. And honestly, there's recipes like macarons. If you're trying to make macarons, you have to measure everything out, because even like the tiniest little amount different can screw up the entire recipe. So it's always a nice thing to have that on there, to be able to get that exact amount of whatever you're making or whatever you're eating, that kind of thing. So I just think that that's something that really helps if you're a baker, if you're cooking, things like that. It's nice to have, especially if you're trying to like keep track of what you're eating. Paying attention to nutritional labels is more important to pay attention to like the grams of something versus, oh, it's half a cup, oh, it's this. I feel like I could talk about this stuff all the time. I mean, there's silicone spoons, or silicone scrapers. I have like 3 or 4 different sizes of those. I have big ones for like my KitchenAid mixer. I have smaller ones for if it's in like a smaller pan. I have these tiny little whisks. Oh my god, I'm gonna link these. These whisks are like these little baby whisks. I love them. I have whisks in all different sizes. I will link to all that. We'll just count that as one of the things, but like if you go onto my Amazon store, in my kitchen section, there's a lot of stuff everywhere, but in my kitchen section you can see all of the things that I have, all the things I'm talking about here, everything like that. And then the last thing that I put down here, obviously not a necessity. Everything else I mentioned are things I use all the time, but I thought it was cute, and this is a tablet or a cookbook stand. I just think that this looks really cute in the kitchen. It has a really adorable like backdrop if you don't have anything in it, and of course, you know, it's always annoying if you have to put your cookbook or you have to put your tablet or your phone, whatever, facing flat down. If you're me, it's a necessity that you're going to get flour or egg whites or liquid, something on your device, something on your cookbook, something on your phone every single time. If you are looking for something that, one, just looks cute in your kitchen, whether you have a book or a tablet or anything on it or not, and 2, you're trying to avoid having to constantly clean off all this crap off your phone and having to take off the case and having to wipe it down, and it's just so annoying, a tablet stand is your friend. So I just really like this. I think that it looks cute in general. I have my Chrissy Teigen cookbook on it because I just, you know, I really like Chrissy Teigen. I think it's cute. I think it's something that just adds a little pizzazz to your kitchen, cuteness, and that's about it. So that is my list of all of the things that I have really been liking and that I use very regularly in my kitchen for baking. I will have another video very, very soon that are my kitchen essentials just in general for cooking, baking, anything. These are the things I use all of the time, and I definitely think that they add a level of easy breezy, making cooking super easy for anybody, and totally recommend you check out. That'll come up probably next week. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later.